of the best in the business. I mean, Kwiatkowski's an incredible bike handler and has been, so he knows what he's doing.
You can see the difference in their style, can't you? Kwiatkowski's so relaxed and just sitting almost on that top tube, just really smooth around each of the bends, versus Lascano here, he just looks a little bit more laboured as he's coming into these turns, a bit more tension in the upper body as well. But it's in their best interest to stay together because, like you said, Rob, 7 kilometres-ish of that valley road before they hit the final climb.
Yeah, Lascano's having to really fight for it. Ben's having to fight for it. And he's actually usually pretty good on descents, but that just goes to show Kwiatkowski's skills on the descent. But they're going to need every last little second they can get on this descent, because once it gets out onto the flats, UAE will have the advantage once again.
That's the Colombian supporters. And talking of football finals, they're in the Copa America final. It's a big weekend for Cycling Nation fans who are fans of other sports as well. Colombia, Argentina in the Copa America final. Those flags will be everywhere. It's Kwiatkowski. Trying to keep all of those contact points on the bike. We know the rules nowadays. This is Giga we're following at the back. 42 just in front of him is Julien Bernard. And this is what's left of the yellow jersey group. The yellow jersey himself, as Danny was saying, just sitting in 6th position there. Teammate in front of him who looks to be Joao Almeida. Adam Yates, I think, just behind him. And at the front it's Sivakov as well as Sule. We're building up to the final climb. And that means that Jonathan is off to the breakaway.
Thanks for having me, guys, and I will see you maybe tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Jonathan.
Right.
Remember, you can get his views with Ola and the gang a little later on in the breakaway. Will he be celebrating? Can Ben Healy hold them off? We'll have to see. The other man alongside me might be celebrating if that happens. It's been a while since we had an Irish victory at the Tour de France in Sam Bennett. I know you're a realist, Sean, though, and you will think that your compatriot needs a bit more time here.
Yes, definitely they need more time, because when we see the way it's going here with Soler still on the front, and we have this valley road as well, and that's where the men in the breakaway are going to start suffering here to keep this advantage, because the teams who want to position their riders onto the final climb up here to Pla d'Adet, they will start pushing on as well. And even in 2, 3, 4 kilometres, it can come down very quickly when you get a team trying to keep the pace really high. Although this group is got very, very small. What have we got? 30 riders maybe here. So it's going to be a one, but I'm afraid for the breakaway, it's just not enough of an advantage. And they will be majorly disappointed once again, because getting into the breakaway, they were hoping that this advantage would be much greater here as we're into the final 25, 30 kilometres, but unfortunately not the case, because UAE controlling all through the day, and they're really taking it up now.
Evenepoel still has 3 teammates left. Pogacar with plenty of teammates. 2 for Jonas Vingegaard. They are, of course, Kelderman, who's on the wheel there, the 2nd place rider. That's Pavel Sivakov, the local Frenchman from the Pyrenees. And Matteo Jorgensen, the American. It's highly impressive from Max Soler. And down in Saint-Laurent, we remember 50 years ago, the first ever summit finish at Pla d'Adet, and those jerseys were the unveiling of a statue to the late, great Raymond Poulidor. His 7th and final stage win at the Tour de France was the first ever finish at Pla d'Adet. On that day in '74, he dropped Eddy Merckx in the yellow jersey. And he was the oldest rider in the race, was Poulidor, at 38 years of age, winning a stage. In the meantime, back then and now, don't try this at home. It's only going to end in tears, that.
Got it.
It makes me so nervous. Thankfully, the hand's still intact. Oh. A very warm welcome back to you, television viewers. We've just seen a wonderful unveiling of a statue by the Tour de France. At the bottom of the climb, we're about to head to Pla d'Adet, commemorating the late great Raymond Poulidor. He won at the top in the first ever summit finish at Pla d'Adet 50 years ago. It was his 7th and final Tour stage win, beating Eddy Merckx, who was in yellow. And he was 38 then, the oldest rider in the race. A reminder, if you don't want to miss a single moment of our coverage, make sure you join us on Discovery+. Here we go then. Tadej Pogačar drops a little further back, and he's following Jonas Vingegaard wherever he goes, Danny.
Yeah, exactly. You can see Jonas just in front of him with the number 1 just being highlighted here. So these two riders do not want to be out of sight of one another at all. This is going to be about these two. We're talking them up as being head and shoulders above the rest. Remco Evenepoel will just need to follow Carlos Rodriguez, as well as another rider we were talking about this morning, is coming into his own territory here in the final week on the high mountain. So it's another opportunity to look at Ineos and see what they can do. He has 2 teammates as well here in the last 14 kilometers.
Looking at Stef Kras there, he was another of those riders, the worst affected, by the way, in that crash that we saw at the Itzulia, the Tour of the Basque Country in March. Wonderful to see him back up on high and at the best of his capabilities as well. He had a bike change and he's sitting 15th at 12.16. Stands to move up today with a couple of riders already having dropped out here. This is all that's left of the yellow jersey group. They're 1:24 behind, and we are approaching the final climb to Pla d'Adet.
Just mentioned Rodriguez though, and actually it was Egan Bernal in that group, and I couldn't see Rodriguez in that front group, so we'll just see if he is there.
Well, that really would be a problem. Sean's nodding his head.
No, he is there.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
we could see the Ineos Grenadiers there. They had at least 2 riders, and it's difficult with some of the other jerseys, but definitely he was there, and that is going to be an interesting one for Ineos, because see Bernal is there. Rodriguez is a little bit further back here in this group, as we can see. They're all looking around here, waiting for positions as we go into this really vital part.
There he is.
Evenepoel and his team moving up as well. Rodriguez at the bottom of the picture, the former Spanish champion.
No, that's not Rodriguez. Here he's here.
He's moving up on the wheel. There he is.
Another teammate. But this is going to be an interesting one for Rodriguez, because in the GC standings, of course, you know, he has a lot of ground to make up, and he's the one who is certainly looking for a podium here. But he has to make up on Remco, 3 minutes and 34. And I think Remco is going to be looking at those guys who are behind him in the GC classification, unless we see a super Remco today, and he will be able to challenge Jonas and Tadej Pogačar. But I think it could be where they'll be playing the tactic of, you know, looking at each other, and the podium is a place they could be start looking at it already here, if the 2 main men in this race are really above the rest, and they ride away a number of kilometres from the finish today. Then we will see that battle for the other places on the podium.
We're less than 2 kilometres now from the start of the final climb of the day, leaving Saint-Lary-Soulan all the way to Pla d'Adet. We say goodbye to Danny. She's off to get up the road, get a head start on the peloton and get into the breakaway. Sean is going to stay with me right to the finish. Just in front of Evenepoel, you've got Landa. Also up there is Ilan van Wilder and Jan Hirt. Some very good climbing domestics for Remco Evenepoel. This is Gal, who's alongside Pogačar. Pogačar sitting right behind Jonas Vingegaard and Wilco Kelderman. Ciccone still in there. Derek G up to the front, and at the front of the race with the measly 1:25 advantage. They're into town. They're going to cross the river, and they're going to start the climb, the steepest gradients in the first 3 kilometres. And this is it, leaving Saint-Lary-Soulan. It's a very steep one to the first hairpin, and then it twists and turns along the mountain. gets slightly easier. Then heading up, and instead of carrying on up this valley to the Col du Portet, which they did a few years ago, there's a left turn, and it gets slightly easier to Pla d'Adet before kicking up again, not too far from the end. 1,600 meters is the finish. It's an all-category climb. It is the first summit finish of 4 at this year's 111th Tour de France. A nasty climb awaits. 11 kilometers to go. Off we go to Pla d'Adet, a climb steeped in Tour legend, where the race's first ever finish to the summit 50 years ago saw one of a very, very famous wins, and the final dance and chapter in the career, at the Tour at least, of Raymond Poulidor. 5 men to take it on: Kwiatkowski, Gaudu, Healy, Lascano and Meintjes. They have 1:22. This is where the climb starts now. Uphill all the way to the finish. Interesting to see, Sean, what happens now in these first 3 difficult kilometres where the gradients are consistently double digits to the gap.
Yes, well, again, the riders here who have still quite a bit of energy left, or the ones with the better energy, they will want to push on here. 1:20 at the moment. You just never know what's going to happen back in the peloton of favourites, because you could see that push on to get onto the climb, and then there might be a little bit of looking around. Highly unlikely, but you never know. When you're in a position in the breakaway, you have to try and give it your all, and play with the advantage you've got and go for it from here and see how far you're going to get. And yeah, that I think will be the order to all the riders here from the DS, is just try and get up this climb as fast as possible and see where you sit, and yeah, see what happens back in the peloton of yellow jersey.
And Mart Soler continues to hurt himself and those around him. Sivakov on the wheel now, here in 3rd place. A reminder, his start to the Tour de France was a difficult one, wasn't it? An emergency visit to the dentist after a crash before he even got to the neutral zone after sign-on. But he's back, he's looking good, and he's ready to help Remco Evenepoel. Sits in 3rd wheel in the blue and white. 1:20 the gap, and still Soler goes. Tremendous performance from him, and that's that for Kwiatkowski. He's been dropped. Healy attacks. Gaudu, the only man who can go with him. Oh, Ben Healy, victorious at the Giro last year. Sean, he's doing what he does best, which is go early, go hard. I guess it's the only thing he can do here.
Yes, well, Ben Healy in the breakaway, if they had got 8 or 10 minutes, he would have probably attacked from 40 kilometres out. But here, this situation, he had to stay with the group, of course, because the advantage was, such a slim one. And now he has to push on early. As I mentioned, you have to go for it here and see how far you're going to get and see what the other riders will do. But Gaudu, he is starting to take a pull on the front here. And even on the climb, that is important. And yeah, 1:08 at the moment. It'll be interesting now in the first 2 kilometres to see this advantage, how they will hold up against the group of yellow jersey.
It's already been a great Tour de France for the French, hasn't it? And it's 14 Juillet tomorrow, Bastille Day, the national day. Gaudu trying to bring success a day early. Past Didi the Devil they go. Pogacar takes a drink. Problems? Well, no, there are no problems. That is Soler. He's done. He's dusted. No wonder. That is that. And that's a great bit of work from Soler today.
Yes, well, a real strong ride there, and so many kilometres on the front, and now we have a new man on the front here for the team of UAE. It's Pavel Sivakov, and it will be interesting to see how long he will stay on the front. But yeah, we can see 1:10, 1:11 at the moment. This is going to be a real difficult one, but they're putting up a great battle here. Gaudu, Healy, they're really going for it, but the next 2-3 kilometres will be an interesting one.
Healy out the saddle, making another move. He's attacked the 5 that started. Gaudu, though, struggles, grits his teeth, and this time I don't think he can follow. Ben Healy breaking Gaudu onto the 12% gradient. They haven't even reached the first hairpin yet, and there's been so much action up the front. Lascano 3rd on the road right now, working at it as he can. Peloton 1:10 behind. Here's that first hairpin. And listen to the noise. Behind in this group, it looks like there's an issue for one of the riders from Ineos. It looks like Bernal.
And another one.
In front of him is the Plus. So Bernal being dropped, that's not good for the former Tour winner. 13th at the moment, that is on the right-hand side, Van Wilder going. So the pressure being put on by UAE. He's doing for a lot of teammates here.
Yes,
Movistar with problems at the back.
Yeah, certainly putting the pressure on. When you see riders like that going out and still with plus 9 kilometers to go, and we're only coming to the real difficult part. This man, Pavel Sivakov, is doing a lot of damage here. But you can see some of the riders, you know, they're looking for comfortable, the GC men. But it'll be an interesting one now when Sivakov finished, who's going to take it up here. But the team of Soudal Quick-Step, it's the first time we have seen this sort of colour of the blue jersey in the front at this vital point. Will they be able to continue on a long ways up this climb?
Does that tell you that Remco's feeling good, that this is a climb for him? I mean, the gradient gets easier closer to the top, so I guess it would suit Remco's ability to put that continuous power out better.
Yes, well, it will be an interesting one for Remco. You know, we've seen he has struggled a bit when the fight is on between the big men in this race, but he has men around him here, and they look to be, you know, to keep him to very much to the front. And we know Remco, the talent he's got. If he gets into his best form, he's capable of maybe putting the two big favourites under a bit of difficulty on this climb.
Healy holding at the minute, 1:12 on the yellow jersey group, still 8.8 Ks to go. He's 13-14 seconds ahead of Lascano as he launches into another acceleration on the pedals. Gaudu has completely cracked behind. He's behind Lascano now. Irish flag flies alongside him there. Yellow jersey group are gaining, but not at a crazy rate yet. Last kilometre of the hardest section of this climb. And this is what the yellow jersey looks like. It's getting smaller and smaller. Martin now going to be dropped out the back. It's still Sivakov hit on his wheel. Then you have Landa and Evenepoel. Jorgensen is the only man left with Vingegaard now. Derek G hanging on at the back. Simon Yates is there. Kelderman is just off the back here. And Martin, as we mentioned, goodbye Guillaume. Almeida moves up onto the wheel. So we're getting an idea of what the plan will be, surely to continue. Almeida himself sitting up there in the general classification, 4th place at 4:20. Looks as though Sivakov might be coming to the end of his turn. You could see a look around as Pogačar was on the radio there. And Healy at the minute, Sean, is holding them.
Yes, he's doing a real strong ride considering being out there all day. As we can see, Sivakov just pulling over little bit here, and another man taking it up. Almeida starting to just pile on the pressure once again, and yeah, this is going to be an interesting one, Almeida, because if he's on a good day, he's going to really cause problems for a lot of riders in this group. Will we see some of the the bigger names here, the guys who are very close in the GC classification, getting into a bit difficulty? But this man, he is doing a great ride, but again, it's coming down very quickly, and yeah, it's the manpower behind the fresh guys coming. It's always going to be an impossible task for them.
Gaudu and Lascano now together, and half a minute for Ben Healy, who is going to try, who's going to ride his heart out, as you'd expect from him. 1:05 back to the yellow jersey, who start to push on a little. João Almeida, we saw, putting that pressure on. Gaudu giving his all, but he's hurting. And here is Almeida. He's now got Landa a little further back. He's still hit on his wheel. Jorgensen just behind him. Pogačar sitting halfway down the group with Adam Yates. Can we read anything into that?
No, I don't think we can read anything. At 8 kilometers to go, he has, Almeida on the front, and he's expecting him to ride for a long time. Then, of course, you have Adam Yates, who is going to, probably up the pace again. And, there's a lot of time here to do something. And just sit back and have a view, have a look at, the riders in front of you, see how they're looking, because the riders, they can read as well. the style on the bike. If you have a lot of movement, you can see that from behind. They know each other so well, so maybe that is a tactical move as well. But in this position, we can see what's the 7th or 8th in the line here. It's no problem at all to sit this far back in this tiny group.
Landa alongside Evenepoel. That's Kwiatkowski who's there. He's going to give whatever food he has left back in the pockets to Rodriguez if he can.
We can see Pogacar and Yates having a word there with each other, so what's that going to be? We'll have to wait and see.
Plotting, planning. No such plotting now from Kelderman. He's gone, he's done. There he is in the peacock suit rather than the usual Killer Bee uniform we see. Gap is still at 104 and Healy holds them. This is Almeida. %10 gradient here. Back with the leader. EF Education Easy Posts, Ben Healy. Team has already had the yellow jersey at this race for a day with Richard Carapaz. My, would they love a stage win. He's outlasting the rest. There's now another 5 minutes go off the gap as Almeida accelerates. Gonna catch Lascano now. Tadej Pogacar in the middle of the group, chasing the leader, Ben Healy. Now then, here we go. It's Adam Yates who's launched. That's what that chat was about. This is interesting, Sean.
Yes, this is an interesting one. I was expecting Yates just to start riding on the front when Almeida pulls off after giving his all here. But yeah, this is an interesting one. Why are they doing this? Yeah, it's going to force some of the other riders to have to chase here, but yeah, who's capable of chasing at the moment? Because yeah, there's a lot of riders there just about hanging in, and yeah, the GC standing, of course, Adam Yates, the ones who are in front of him, Landa, of course, Rodriguez, Carlos Rodriguez, they are going to be the ones maybe who will have to start doing the pace setting, and also team Visma Lisa bike, how long will they allow this one? Because also they will be getting a little concerned. But yeah, maybe it's a plan. Vingegaard or Yates goes ahead, and then Pogacar will attack out and go across to him. That could be also the tactic further up, because still just inside 7k to go.
Gap from the yellow jersey group, which is now led, by the way, by Matteo Jorgensen of Visma Lisa bike, all the way to Ben Healy's 55 seconds. Adam Yates is making his way up the mountain in the meantime. He's 10 seconds in front of that yellow jersey group. Carlos Rodriguez sitting on the wheel now of Tadej Pogacar, who starts to move up. Chicone is in there as well. Vingegaard sitting in front of Pogacar and behind Evenepoel. This is Jorgensen, winner of Paris-Nice, second in the Dauphiné. And it looks as though now Jan Hirt was just looking around. Is that from him? I think it might be. Let's have a look. Can he settle in the group? Certainly looked like he was pulling out the line there, the Czech. Giro d'Italia stage winner. Same as Ben Healy. 54 seconds. Still any reason to believe, Sean?
Well, unless there is a lot of waiting back here between the big favourites. I know the attack of Yates here, this is going to be an interesting one. There have to be some reason that he goes in the attack. Otherwise, the best way to use him would be, when Almeida was going to finish up, then he would take it over and set that pace for as many kilometres he could, and really, put others in difficulty. And then we would see Pogacar doing the thing he does. Normally he just lets his teammates do the job, put everybody in the red, and then go in the attack. But how long is he going to be out in front here? It's going to be an interesting one here. But yeah, it's not a surprise here that we see other teams starting just to set a little pace on the front, with Jorgensen continuing on to just tap out a pace and not allow Yates to get any major advantage.
Maybe try to isolate Jonas Vingegaard here, getting Jorgensen to burn his own matches. Of course, Almeida still sits there with Tadej Pogačar. Yates is 16 seconds now ahead of the yellow jersey group. He's making his way across to Ben Healy here. Still 6.2 Ks to go. Crowds on this climb are sensational. Meinkies is the next to be caught. It's his brother Simon still sitting towards the back here. Derek G hanging on. Gowles there as one rider's about to pull out on the left-hand side. And yes, for Jan here, we can confirm as we look down, he's no longer in the group. Dropped. Only Landa now left for Evenepoel. Yates continuing looking around. You wonder what the plan is. Getting further up the hill and the left turn to switch the valley will be on the way. Healy with half a minute on Yates, 49 seconds on the big favourites and GC leaders. And there's no shortage of encouragement for Ben Healy. Up the Spanish corner there. There's the Welsh Dragon on the next corner. But it's the Irishman Healy here is about to turn left. The gap is disappearing though. Yates getting closer and closer. He's over 20 seconds ahead of the yellow jersey group now, and he's almost halfway across the gap to this man. But he's fighting for his life here, is Healy.
Yes, well, he is doing a monster ride here, considering he's been, out in that breakaway all day, very difficult to get into it. He's putting up a really great battle here, and this man coming out of the peloton, you can conserve so much energy during the day, and when you come out that bit quite a bit fresher, well then you can ease into the advantage, and that's what we see Adam Yates doing here at the moment. But we did see there he looked over his shoulder a few times. I feel that there's an attack going to come, try and get Pogačar to come across here with that explosive attack, and then he joins up with Yates and they try and go on, because 5.4 kilometers to go. It's still a long road here to get to this finish.
And Pogačar continues to sit there in 5th position on the wheel of Vingegaard, the defending champion. You talked about him looking over his shoulder continuously there. He was just playing around with the earpiece too, making sure he could hear clearly the radio communication. You do feel that something is cooking, something is brewing. The question is, when is it going to come? We are just over 5 kilometers from the finish now. Evenepoel has the windows open, the jersey is completely unzipped. Yates at 17 seconds from Healy now. And it's still Jorgensen behind at 45 seconds. Landa on his wheel. Healy starts to look around. He knows somebody's on the way. Made it much easier now than it was, but it kicks up a little bit yet again before we get to the finish. That's those Moroccan flags. He pedals. 5 Ks to go now. And Adam Yates can see him up the road. 13 seconds behind. Yates himself, remember, stage winner and yellow jersey wearer at the opening of the Tour last year in Bilbao.
And we can see Adam Yates here, he is not really pushing on. He's just, going at a strong pace. But I think he's definitely waiting for his leader to come across.
5 Ks to go, and Yates continues to look around. He waits. You get the feeling he's holding something back as much as you can here. That's his demeanour anyway. Pogačar is leader, just leaving that little bit of gap as well to the wheel of Vingegaard just ahead of him. Yates almost at the front of the race. 7 seconds. And he can see Healy here. Healy looks like he's starting to tire a bit now, Sean. And here we go. Here's the move. We waited. It was telegraphed. It was coming. It is Pogačar. Vingegaard try to follow. Evenepoel's in fourth wheel. It's Carlos Rodriguez who's trying to come across here. And Tadej Pogacar pumping on the pedals. And at the minute, Vingegaard's struggling to close the gap, Sean Kelly.
Yes, we can see he looks over his shoulder to see who's just behind him, as we can see. Remco just getting across to him very quickly, but this is a big attack here. We could see that coming because of Yates, the way he was demeaning, he was riding out front. And now it's going to be an interesting one with Vingegaard and Remco. Will Remco take it up here? That'll be the question. We can see Carlos Rodriguez as well in between here. This is going to be just a full-on battle right the way to the finish.
And he's made it to the tug at the front. Adam Yates ready to do the job and escort his leader close to the finish. To more time if he can. It's heartbreak for Healy at the moment. Yesterday we had the 8th fastest stage ever at the Tour. Crosswind chaos. For now it's mountain madness. The scene of the first Pyrenean battle. And Adam Yates, you could just tell something was coming.
Yes, well, you can see Adam Yates, the way he's riding now, out of the saddle, just dancing on the pedals. That's the way he rides when he's really going for a run and climb. And you know, he's in his rhythm here. Sit down a little bit, out of the saddle again. That's the way he's going to go all the way and try and take his leader as far as possible to this finish. And we can see here Vingegaard just walking on it. Remco just, you know, continue on to follow in the wheel here. But again, we can see here Vingegaard is just walking away and slowly maybe closing it back.
It certainly started to look like that, didn't it? But I think there's another acceleration now from Yates. It's 8 seconds. There we go. 8 seconds back to Jonas Vingegaard. 19 to Carlos Rodriguez. It's Yates here who's working his hardest. 4Ks to go. But you get the feeling at some point there's another acceleration from Pogacar coming. So now they're going to try and work together. But that's it. That's it. No, that's all that Yates can offer. This is the second acceleration now from Pogacar. And Sean, it's a seated one.
Yes, well, we know the way when he just gets into this rhythm, unless he's going in a big attack out of the group with other riders, he can do this, sit in the saddle and just, you know, pound on the pedals. And it's going to be an interesting one now. The battle between the big two. It's not only that one, as we can see here, Remco, he is, you know, really up for it as well as we go inside the 4 kilometers to go. 8 seconds at the moment. The next kilometre or two will tell us, you know, who is going to win this battle between the two big men. But Remco very much in the race also for this one.
Through the crowds of crazy fans they go, but Remco is seizing. Remco is losing contact. He's got to work hard because Vingegaard's pulling away from the white jersey. It's the yellow jersey who looks around and can see that Vingegaard's coming across. This is absolutely crazy. The Tour's in play, and just as that happens, Vingegaard leaves Evenepoel, but again, that extra acceleration from Pogacar looks as though he's able to pull it out.
Yes, we can see there, you know, 7 seconds at the moment, but it looks like it is after pulling out a bit. And Remco not able to follow Vingegaard, but we know Remco, that's the way he climbs. So it'll be an interesting one between all three now. But, you know, this man, still 3.5 kilometers to go. It does ease off in places, as we can see. But, yeah, who's going to win this battle? It looks like the yellow jersey is in a position to take some time. But again, 3.3 kilometers on this difficult end of stage. It can change quite a lot over that distance.
3.3 Ks to go, as you say, and Tadej Pogacar is looking for more success. He wants seconds, he wants bonuses as well. Every little helps with a week full of mountain stages and a time trial to decide this. Remember, this is only the second proper mountain stage. The fun is only just getting started. 3 kilometers for the leader of this race. A reminder, we had 1 minute and 6 on Evenepoel at the start of the day. 1 minute and 14 on Vingegaard. This is Carlos Rodriguez. He started the day down in 5th place. As it stands, he could be heading up to 4th. 9 seconds to Vingegaard from Pogacar. Defending brilliantly for the moment. And of course, keep your eyes on the gap between Vingegaard and Evenepoel as well, because there could be a swap of a place on the podium. Yes, Pogacar might be stealing something here, Sean, but Vingegaard could be about to get above Evenepoel.
Yes, well, that was one you would be expecting against that battle, but again, Evenepoel, it'll be interesting to see now how well he will limit his losses to the man he's chasing there, Vingegaard. But we can see here out on the road, Looks like it's growing out 14 seconds at the moment, and this man, he's just going to try and trail all the way to the finish over this final 2.6 kilometers. We did see in the earlier part he was looking around a lot. Normally when you're out in front here with the funnel of spectators, you just focus out in front of you and go as hard as possible from the point he rode away from Adam Yates.
You wonder if there's a little bit of a failure, a drop in radio communication. He was looking for visual references. You never know. You hear all sorts of stories about the radio and how it gets interrupted up here. It's 17 seconds, though, at the moment for Pogačar. We already know he likes the Pyrenees. It's a special place for him. We started today in Pau, and his first ever Tour de France stage win was on a day that began in that city as well. The finish in La Reims was the first of 3 wins and dramatic GC turnaround that showed the world someone special had made his Tour de France debut in the best way possible. And here he's looking to try and take the Tour title back. The last 2 have gone to Vingegaard. At the minute, 20 seconds going the way of Pogačar. Still 2Ks to go.
Yes, well, he is pulling out the advantage here, as we can see. Vingegaard 19 seconds, Evenepoel at 30 seconds, and Carlos Rodriguez putting up a good battle as well. We can see he's just at 9 seconds off Evenepoel. So, yeah, the big battle is on here for the GC rankings on this climb here. And yeah, inside 2 kilometers to go, 21 seconds. This is the one where Vingegaard is going to lose some time. Also the bonuses, let's not forget, he's going to take 4 seconds of a bonus, because 10, 6 and 4 for the top 3 places to finish at the stage.
Well, as it stands with 16 seconds of a gap plus those 6 bonuses, a couple on this man, Evenepoel, who's in 3rd on the road at the minute. It would be Vingegaard who would be moving up into 2nd place. Evenepoel bumped down to 3rd. Carlito Rodriguez is on his way onto the podium. Maybe in the next few days, you never know. He's looking good. He's getting closer. He's certainly on his way up into 4th. But look at the throngs of fans here, and all having to part their ways because the yellow jersey's coming through. Tadej Pogačar approaching the final 1.5 kilometers. He's just 160 meters in front of Jonas Vingegaard. Quarter of a kilometer ahead of Remco Evenepoel. Almost 400 meters in front of Rodriguez. That translates to 23, 42 and 48 seconds. It's the 23 we're focusing on, plus the bonuses. Little downhill here. Has to keep it in the head. And there's the line up to the finish. It looks splendid, doesn't it? Look at all the people lining the route. A natural stadium here, high in the Pyrenees at the Tour de France. 1 kilometer to go after the latest Pogačar attack. It's been seesawing, a tug of war. The other day went to Vingegaard. It's quite clear that today, Sean Kelly, the day is going to Pogačar.
Yes, well, we can see here he's going to take the stage win. He's going to take a lot of time on Vingegaard. 25 seconds at the moment, as you mentioned. Also, that bonus, he's going to take that 10 seconds of a bonus. But this man also will get that 6 seconds for his 2nd position. But this is a demonstration by the yellow jersey.
We've been wondering which way it was going to go. Just a few days ago, all the momentum was with Vingegaard. But no, in the tug of war, Pogačar is wrestling it right back. Almost half a minute, and it's building here, Sean.
Yes, well, it's again, the fight between the 2 main men here. And this man is the man who have got the bit more in this final number of kilometers. We can see here, 8% at the moment, 37 seconds. It is going to be a one where Pogačar is going to take a big grab on the yellow jersey and the confidence as well, because we see a number of days ago when he went in the attack and he was closed down on the end, I think that confidence got a little bit of a dent, but now he's back and he will be in the top of his confidence at the end of this day, because he's seen that he can do the damage, and we have another big day coming tomorrow.
4 hours, and again it's been full gas. This time it's involved the mountains. A 50th anniversary of a first ever finish up here at Pla d'Ade. Many of them have been historic. It's our first visit in 10 years, and we're going to remember this one. Because on the ropes a few days ago, yes, in the yellow jersey, still with over a minute of a lead, but he's going to re-extend it. It's by no means definitive, but Pogačar back in control. A massive step forward, a big statement, and at the beginning of a massive double-header. A final turn of the corner, but he'll still accelerate all the way to the line. It's stage 14 going to Tadej Pogačar. His second mountain stage win of this tour. An extension of the lead. And today, the Pyrenees belongs to Pogačar. And what is the damage? We wait to find out. Jonas Vingegaard, so good the other day. He had the momentum. The confidence was his. Pogačar was on the ropes. But now it's he who's leaning back, swinging, struggling to stand up. He's going to move up to second, but he is going to lose that control of the momentum. This Tour de France is still on, but this particular fight today has been won by Pogačar, and the damage, plus the 4 extra bonuses, is going to be 39 seconds. 43, a swing to Pogačar. But as the clock ticks on, and Evenepoel reaches the finish, it's Evenepoel who drops from second to third. So much happening today. It was all saved for the final climb. They've moved positions, the gaps have changed, and Sean, the feeling of this tour changes with Pogačar again taking control.
Yes, well, as UAE set out to do today, I think they just wanted to make the race really as difficult as possible. As we see Remco coming over there, Rodriguez coming in, it's Ciccone, Yates. You know, not a lot of loss here for a lot of the GC men, considering Remco, you know, is just went over the finish line, but certainly the yellow jersey, you know, he put up a performance here today. After the team doing the work for him, this is going to be one advantage to this man here. But race certainly not over, but sure he's taking, you know, a bit of a confidence and time-wise, which is the important one on today's stage.
Pladade looks like this, all calm after the big fight. The Pyrenees with its first battle. It was set up by Yates. Almeida played his part. He's lost a few seconds to Rodriguez, but might just about hold on to fourth at the minute. But they're thinking about the man in yellow, who has increased his lead. Carapaz and the rest of EF fought for the stage win. But it's all happened at the top. This is how it happened today. Tadej Pogačar wins the stage by 39 seconds from Jonas Vingegaard. Remco Evenepoel finishes third. Rodriguez and Ciccone fourth and fifth. Buitrago, Yates, Gal, Jorgensen and G in the top 10. Only 1:29 between them. Tadej Pogačar more in charge.
You can see what it meant to him when he came across the line. A real laying down of the gauntlet to his main rival.
What a performance by UAE team members, by you guys. Joao, talk us through the plan, how you executed it in the finish.
Yeah, it was a hard stage. We wanted to do hard pace and try to do gain time to Vingegaard. We executed the plan perfectly, so yeah, I think congrats to the whole team. We did a perfect teamwork, and yeah, we accomplished the goal. So let's go for it.
Was it the plan that Adam has to attack and Tadej had to bridge up to him?
I mean, it was one of the options. It depends, like the race situation, how is it going. So yeah, it was really good.
Congratulations, Joao.
Thank you.
Words from Joao Almeida. We have GC riders rolling in. Pogačar straight to protocol, but he was celebrating. You could see how much it meant to him, celebrating with Mauro Gianetti and his soigneur. A big one for UAE team Emirates. Make sure that you stay on our coverage, because we're going to bring you a lot of content from the GC riders.
They will continue to come in across the line for some time. Ben Healy involved in that move early on in the breakaway, taking King of the Mountains points today. 2014, 10 years ago, Rafa Maika won at Saint-Lary-Soulin. The form coming into the tour suggested that Tadej Pogačar should be the favourite. Vingegaard shocked him a couple of days ago in a two-up sprint. Pogačar has struck back today. Let's hear from Machin Fernandez.
Mostly with one rider in front, as Adam, with the super amazing level, is the super conviction of Adam, is the super conviction, and the amazing job of Joao.
How much confidence will Paddy take from beating Jonas today, following the sprints in which it was the other way round?
Imagine 1 minute 57 in the classification, better of yesterday. One moment.
He warms down on the rollers. Ben Healy sits and licks his wounds and tries to recover as speedily as possible. There is another hard day to come. Remco Evenepoel pushed down into third. There are groups all over this final climb. We're down at the base of it. Jonas Abrahamsen, Van Meer and Søren Wagensold. And what a margin that has earned him today. And that is our provisional top 10 now. Big changes in times especially. Dirk G's held his place in 9th, but now 9 minutes and 33 seconds he finds himself behind. Start of the day, 7:54 down.
Derek G, your first experience of the Pyrenees. You're going pretty well. How was that for you?
I mean, I was happy with how it ended up, because I was hurting on the Tourmalet already pretty bad. I was looking, it was a pretty big group, and I thought I was in trouble today, but the guys were great, and they kept me nice and sheltered until the last climb, and then just had to suffer it out.
How did you pace the final climb? How does he measure your effort? Because, let's face it, this is a complete and utter voyage into the unknown for you.
Yeah, I mean, I knew as soon as the, Tadej or Jonas one, I think it was Tadej, I knew it just, guys that are around me in GC are going to go. I just got to pace it. And then it flattened out. I knew as a bigger guy, I could make up a little more ground when it flattened out in the last couple K. Actually, luckily, Almeida came around and did a lot of the pacing for me because I was pretty cooked. But yeah, I managed to come back to kind of the group I'm around in GC, and then lost them a little in the last couple 100 meters, but I'm happy with it.
What about the atmosphere on the final slopes? It was electric out there. I mean, I bet that you had some big adrenaline dumps.
It was pretty amazing. Yeah, you can't see the road in front of you, and they just slowly part. Yeah, it was pretty cool, just like on TV.
Thanks very much, Derek.
Thanks.
Well, let's continue to get reaction at the finish line.
Santi, impresionante como corriste hoy. Cuéntanos sobre la última subida
It
y
was
el ritmo.
impressive how you rode today. Tell us about the last climb and the pace in the group of the favourites.
Muy complicada, muy dura desde el principio.
It was a complicated stage, really tough, high-paced stage.
El UAE desde el principio puso un ritmo muy alto.
Team UAE
Y al final,
set
nada,
a
el equipo me
really
puso
high
en una
pace from
muy
the
buena
beginning.
posición, pude sentirme muy bien y
But I got myself in a good
nada,
position
seguimos
and
creciendo día a
settled
día.
into my rhythm.
Cuéntanos sobre el momento
And,
del
I think we continue to grow
ataque
day
de
by
Adam
day.
Yates y después Tadej Pogacar. ¿Cómo fue?
So great play from
yo creo que fue una
UAE
estrategia
Team
muy buena.
Emirates. First from
Tienen
Yates,
tres
then
hombres
from Pogacar.
en el top 10, tienen que poner a trabajar a la gente del
Yeah,
Y
they've had lots of riders in the
cuando
GC
atacó
standings.
Yates sin duda hizo que la carrera se hiciera un poco más dura y
And when Yates
después
attacked, he really
Pogacar
made the
terminó
race fast.
de seleccionar el grupo.
¿Y cómo te sientes finalmente?
And
¿Estás contento?
Pogacar just finished it off.
Sí, estoy contento, cada día vamos a mejor. La idea es seguir recuperando puestos y
I felt
ver qué
really
tan
good.
arriba podemos llegar.
And
gracias.
I feel that we've done well today. Well, today Pogacar won the stage. One of the men from his team who really impressed on today was Adam Yates, and we're going to hear from him now.
First things first, Adam, congratulations to you. Tadej Pogacar takes the stage, extends his lead in the race, and you played a key part in that. Was that always a plan from the off today?
Not like this, no. I said before to the other guys, you know, with Tadej, you never know what the plan is. He always feels really good, and at one moment he told me to attack, and I was like, what do you want about? So, yeah, I attacked, and then looked around a couple of times to see when he was coming, and yeah, after a few K he was there, so I couldn't do too much in the end because I was a little bit cooked already. But yeah, I did what I could, and we'll take some time now.
What's it like riding dynamically like that and just waiting to be told? Do you cope well with that sort of thing? You seem to.
I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, in the end, just go full gas until you can't, and then start flicking elbows, and hopefully come through, you know. So I think it was 4 Ks to go. I started flicking the elbows, and yeah, then I could go a little bit easier. So it's quite nice, you know. He's super easy to work with. We showed last year that we work really well together, and yeah, today's another day for that.
Took 40 seconds to extend his lead, just under 2 minutes on overall now.
Yeah, it's good. You know, the other day we tried from afar. Was it 35 Ks to go, something like this, and didn't quite work out. So yeah, today was a little bit shorter, and we're getting a lot more time. So different tactics, but yeah, it's working well. So I see tomorrow as well. Tomorrow's another big day. The team's working well, and we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Adam.
Just taking a look back at the time that Tadej Pogacar chose to strike, and when he went, it was so decisive. Initially looked as though he was going to be towed a little further up the hill by Yates, but as we've just heard from Adam Yates, he was pretty cooked already from his efforts, so Tadej just sailed past. Looked then as though Vingegaard and Remco Evenepoel were going to manage to bridge the gap. For around a 30-second period, Vingegaard appeared to be closing in, but it was a false promise because Pogacar just continued to pull away. It is a mightily impressive performance from Tadej Pogacar today for his 13th Tour de France stage win. Let's hear from the man himself.
Today, was that planned or was that instinct?
It was instinct. We tried to go for the stage, but more for the sprint. Then it was this kind of situation. Adam attacked, and Visma had to try to maintain the gap, and I see that that if I bridge to Adam with a gap, he can pull me a little bit, and this was really perfect. And I must say a big thank you to all the team today. They were amazing, and this victory is for all my teammates.
Today you wanted to hit hard, you wanted to make a real difference with Jonas.
No, like I said, the plan was just to come to sprint to the final and make the sprint hard, and maybe take some seconds stage win, but in the end like this it's much better.
Yeah, you take close to 40 seconds and the gap grows. Very good news.
Yeah, this is very good news. Yeah, I'm super happy to be in this. But yeah, let's keep on this momentum and good energy in the team, good legs, and yeah, we try to maintain this position.
And another stage victory, that's always important in the history books.
Yeah, I mean, to win Tour de France stage itself is something. Yeah, I was never thinking of, and when I was a kid, for example, seeing Mark Cavendish winning all these sprint stages, I was thinking he's from another planet and that is not reachable. And yeah, but yeah, if you chase your dreams, you can catch them.
Ah, you're going for Mark Cavendish's record now?
No, I just said an example because yeah, I love seeing him winning so many stages with the team. But yeah, just an example that how incredible it was to watch as a kid Tour de France on the TV.
Well, you must be proud. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Well, it is time just to take a deep breath and reoxygenate. Another remarkable chapter on this 111th Tour de France, a tour that is, well, it's just not disappointing on a daily basis. Let's hear from Oye Lascano, a man heavily involved in today's breakaway.
Oye Lascano, qué impresionante como corriste hoy. Cuéntanos sobre
It was
el
really
día, la fuga y
impressive
el sprint en el Tourmalet.
How you were involved in
no estaba pensado coger la
the
fuga,
breakaway.
¿no? Pero iba, sí, sinceramente, fui a cerrar un hueco.
I didn't really think about taking part in the breakaway.
Yo con el hueco con 20 segundos al pelotón y
but I happened to be
y no, al final pasar el
up there,
primero
and in the end I just decided to be out in front for the day. But it wasn't a plan to do.
Lleno de toda la carrera, toda la etapa lleno de vascos, de gente de casa y impresionante.
It's amazing how many Basque people were on the roads today, and that was just incredible. Tell us more about the atmosphere then.
Como español ver los aficionados.
How was it as a Spanish rider to see so many fans from Spain and the Basque country out there?
¿En serio?
Well, my ears are still sore from what it was as an experience. So many Basque people out there, really impressive. And I'd love to thank everyone who came out to support us and spend the day with us, because it's brilliant. You want some points for the polka dot jersey as well? Is it an objective for you? No. Not yet? No.
Pavel?
Riders continue to come in. Romain Bardet across the line, first man in the yellow jersey this year. What a day. A 1-minute 14-second lead for Tadej Pogačar at the start of the day is now out to an unofficial time of 1 minute and 57 seconds. Remco Evenepoel sliding to third, 2 minutes and 22 down. The rest of the top 10 looks the same. However, there are some big time differences. Adam Yates now at 8:32, Landa at 7:17, Carlos Rodriguez 6 minutes and 9 seconds back, João Almeida 6 minutes and 1. Victory for Tadej Pogacar. He won into Valois. He has now won into Saint-Lary-Soulon. And he has, more importantly for him, really ensured that that yellow jersey will stay on his shoulders. And it is going to take a mighty effort from this man, Jonas Vingegaard, across the remainder of this tour to wrestle it off him. Remco Evenepoel still on the podium, but he slipped down into third place after today's performance. So back in Pau, where it all started out, next to the Parc des Géants.
Woo, good workout. Good workout.
For the victories of 2022 and 2023 for Jonas Vingegaard.
This shirt is killing me.
When the Départ Real was triggered, there was a big fight to get into the breakaway.
The only way I'm going to grow.
An uphill start gave those riders an opportunity to really get out in front and forge an advantage, and it didn't take too long after the multiple attacks for the breakaway to be formed. But it certainly took a lot of effort, including a big pull on the front from this man, Oyet Leshkano. Intermediate sprint. Little contest
No
there.
connection drops, that was good.
Green jersey then able to relax for the
No
majority
connection
of the
drops, that's good.
This is
Good.
Raymond Poulidor country, one of his most famous wins, his last ever win on the Tour de France. A statue unveiled of him and his grandson Mathieu van der Poel wanting to be involved as they got onto the Col du Tourmalet. And 38 seconds, the difference between the breakaway group and the chasing yellow jersey at this stage. Then it was on to the next climb of the day, a second category climb on the Orquette d'Anzizan. Over the Tourmalet, it was Leshkano who took the 20 points, Godou getting the 5 points over this next one. And then on to the final climb of the day. Saint-Lary-Soulon